Well damn, Nintendo actually dropped a demo for Age of Calamity. I didn't have another video planned for this month, but I couldn't pass up the opportunity to talk about this game, especially since I love Breath of the Wild so much. And I'm pretty hyped for its upcoming sequel. Let me start off by saying that I'm not someone who plays a lot of Warriors type games. I played the original Hyrule Warriors on Wii U, and have played the One Piece Pirate Warrior games on PS4, so I have a general feel for what to expect from this game. Also, since the game isn't out yet, it goes without saying there will be some spoilers for the story of this game. The demo opens up with a cinematic taking place during the revival of Calamity Ganon, preceding the events of Breath of the Wild. For anyone who's played that game, you already know that everything has gone to absolute shit. As there's fire and destruction everywhere, a white little guardian in a box activates. Having heard Zelda's words to protect everyone, it opens up a portal and somehow ends up going back in time to an unspecified time before the Calamity returned. My guess is that this game is set in an alternate timeline to the original Breath of the Wild, making it so the player has the chance of preventing the Calamity instead of getting a bad ending and waiting 100 years for Breath of the Wild to happen. Maybe. After that opening cinematic, and a quick cutscene with King Roam talking to his soldiers, you start the game controlling who else but Link. I don't know how he compares to the Link from Hyrule Warriors, but comparing footage, his combos are much different than that Link at least. You can use your regular attacks with the Y button, and strong attacks with the X button. Using at least 3 regular attacks followed by a strong attack lets you use this charged up slash for extra damage. Do 2 regular attacks and then a strong attack, and you can charge into enemies by riding Link's shield. Do enough damage to fill up your special gauge, and fire up a huge charge slash. Carrying over from Breath of the Wild, if you manage to dodge an enemy at just the right moment, you can counter with flurry attacks to do a lot more damage. Besides his usual sword attacks, you can also fire off some arrows by pressing ZR, holding it down to aim it before firing. Like most warrior-styled games, there'll be areas on the map you have to head to, either to clear out an outpost or take out a stronger enemy. After clearing a bit of the area, you'll get to use the second playable character in the demo, Impa. Impa was the 100-something-year-old grandma you met in Breath of the Wild, appearing here as her hot 20-something-year-old self. She's essentially a kunoichi, attacking with kunai, seals, and shadow clones. You can place symbols on enemies while attacking them, and then absorb them to power up her attacks. Charge up her special attack and max out her absorb runes to do her special attack, stacking multiple bombs and using her shadow clones to blow up enemies in range. After bumping into Impa, you'll also be able to use the Sheikah Slate, using the same runes that you had in Breath of the Wild. Bombs, working similar to the arrows where you toss several at once at an enemy. Cryostasis, that let you build ice pillars to jump off of or counter charging enemies. Magnesis, letting you pick up metal boxes to attack enemies with. And Stasis, letting you freeze an enemy and attack them multiple times for a brief moment. After the first battle, you'll unlock a few points of interest on the map, being able to donate materials to NPCs to unlock new basic attacks, cooking recipes, the Blacksmith Guild that will allow you to fuse multiple weapons to level up another equipable, and challenges where you take out enemies within a time limit for rewards. The third playable character in the demo is Princess Zelda herself. For those who played Breath of the Wild, you'll know that a big plot point during this time frame is the fact that Zelda hasn't unlocked her powers yet. To make up for it, she instead makes use of the Sheikah Slate, but with moves unique to her to help her stand out. Her standard attack is whipping a metal block with Magnesis, summoning ice cubes to freeze enemies, throwing a large bomb to detonate, and of course Stasis. Using the usual Sheikah Slate inputs lets her use stronger variations of those attacks, like a walking bomb that throws more bombs for example. Her special move lets her snap a photo of enemies in frame and blast them, which doesn't feel as bombastic as Link or Impa's moves. I don't know, maybe Zelda's get better the further you get into the game. After the second fight, you're tasked with recruiting 4 champions to pilot the Divine Beasts. Unfortunately, this is where the demo ends. All you'll be able to do at this point are any points of interest on the map you didn't complete yet, or returning to previous battles to grind up your characters. The demo should run you about 40 minutes to an hour, which isn't too bad, and in something I hope becomes the norm for more games, your progress from the demo carries over to the main game. Overall, my impressions of the demo are pretty positive. I haven't touched Breath of the Wild since I beat it 3 years ago, so it's great to revisit this story and its characters. Link, Impa, and Zelda's fighting styles differentiate well enough from each other so they don't feel too samey. The stronger enemies have some decent variety, keeping you from spamming the same attacks, especially the Wizrobes. And best of all, the weapons don't have durability and don't break at the worst time. One issue though is that the frame rate does chug quite a bit when there's a decent amount of enemies on screen, so expect a bit of lag when you jump into huge groups. Also, it would have been nice if you got to play as at least one of the champions, but I get that Nintendo didn't want to give you too much in the demo. Definitely give the demo a shot, guys. especially if you're on the fence about another Warriors game. It sold me on picking this game up for sure, and probably Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition, if I can get my hands on a physical copy. Thanks for watching, guys. November should be an interesting month with my videos as I want to cover the PS5 and a few launch titles. I'll still be covering older games of course, so don't miss out on that. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like below, and if you want to be caught up on my new content, be sure to subscribe. I'm Fuzzy Slippers, and I'll see you later. Peace.